Everybody, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome to the Ultimate Racing League for our Saturday Championship. We are at week 5 of this, and as you can see looking down that straight there, we are at Spa, or the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps, to give it its full title, and apologies to anybody in Belgium if I have pronounced that completely wrong. So from now on we will just call it Spa, as we all know and love it. A bit more about the track in a while. Let's just have a quick look at the top of the league table. So as I say, after week 4, which the last round was Interlagos. So after week 4, at the top of the table is Stormfly on 201 points. Just behind him in second is Fitzy on 86 points. Sorry. Third is Osman on 160 points. Unforgiven is fourth on 152, and fifth is Grasshopper on 143. So that's the top 5 of the league table as it stands going into this race. I do want to give a shout out to our sponsors as well. That's Dubby.gg, the energy drink for gamers, and also Eldridge Air Conditioning. A big thank you to those guys helping us bring you these races. Now moving on to this round, as I've already said, we're at Spa. It's an endurance race, so we've got 21 laps. It's going to take us roughly 50 minutes or something like that, I think. But we're concentrating on the lap count, really. It's 21 laps around this fantastic course. So the guys have been out and done 10 minutes of qualifying. And we'll have a look down the grid, and then we'll get this race started, shall we? So Osman finds himself on pole position. Stormfly is in second. Unforgiven third. Fitzy is fourth. Brian Moncani is fifth. Grasshopper sixth. Derg is seventh. Silly Shot is eighth. Phaser is ninth. Pete is 10th. Ninky is 11th. Stealth is 12th. Rufus 13th. And Bendit is 14th. Go back up to the top, and we'll get these guys underway, and then we can have a chat about tyres and the track and everything as we go through. But we just want to get the guys racing, don't we? So Osman leads us off, and I'm not sure if the guys they do. So the couple of guys at the back, they have to start just on the approach to La Source turn 1. But we're all off and running now. Now it's a free choice of car. It's a Group 3 car, or GT3, however you want to say it. So that's why there's lots of different cars on the tracks. It's driver's own personal choice. Same with the livery as well, as Unforgiven makes a move on Stormfly and gets himself up into second already. He's already on the chase after Osman. So Unforgiven, obviously liking this track, gets himself up there quite high up on the grid to start with, and already moved up into second, so expecting great things from him in this race. And we'll have a look at the tyres. So Osman starting on the mediums. I think all compounds have to be used in this in the endurance races, so we might see a bit of a mixed bag of tyres. But Osman on the medium tyres for the first stint is leading the way. He's got Unforgiven just behind him in second. Stormfly on the softs, he's in third. Fitzy, he's on softs as well, he's in fourth. Brian Moncani also on softs. Grasshopper, he's another medium runner for the first stint in the NSX. He's sitting in sixth at the minute. Derg on the softs. Silly Shot, he's gone for mediums. Phaser on the softs, already picked up a penalty. Phaser, incidentally, if you didn't see it on, I think it was Friday, he did 200 laps of Dragon Trail in the Rory Alexander, the Irius Challenge, and what a fantastic feat that was. 6 hours, nearly 6 hours driving for Phaser, so he must be absolutely worn out or fed up of this game. I don't know, I'm surprised he's on track. But yeah, fantastic effort from Phaser, so well done to him. 200 laps around Dragon Trail. I think he won his heat as well, and got fastest lap. So yeah, good things to come from Phaser. Stealth in 11th, he's on the softs. Then we've got Ninky, he's got a half-second penalty as well. He's on the softs as they all start lap 2. Rufus on softs and Bendit on the mediums. Now Bendit, I understand the name Bendit is coming from the film Bendit Like Beckham. I heard one of the other commentators mention it, and I think Bendit backed it up, so I believe that's where he's come from with that name. So tell me different if there is any different, but Bendit's struggling at the minute. Now he is quick. He is a very quick driver, and I'm surprised he's all the way down there in 14th. He's on the mediums now. I may have the tyres wrong. It may just be mediums and soft that are available, but I always thought it was hards as well in endurance, but I may be wrong. We shall see. We'll go back up to the top then, and follow Osman as well, my track's all over the place. I wish I'd have sorted my track out properly. I should have done a new track. But anyway, he's coming round Poulon at turn 12. Still leading the way. Who's that's got a penalty? Oh, it's Stormfly. So Stormfly's picked up half a second. As we're going through Campos onto Stavelot. Got to turn my map the right way around, I think. So I think we're at turn 16 as Unforgiven. Well, he's having a bit of a pop at Osman, isn't he? He fancies this. Stormfly, well, he's putting a challenge in, but he is going to be serving a half-second penalty, so it's all a bit pointless, really. But he has got to try and stay up with the guys because he's got Fitzy chasing him down. But Fitzy goes through into 3rd. Stormfly has to drop down into 4th after serving that penalty. And, well, Unforgiven has got by Osman, hasn't he? So let's just have a quick nip back and have a look at that, because we saw him putting the challenge in. And yeah, he goes all the way around the outside as we go on to Blanchimont, and Unforgiven gets his nose in front in that GTR, and he's away. So Unforgiven, our new race leader, as they head down towards the bus stop chicane for the second time. Just got to keep it nice and tidy through here. Look at getting a decent exit, just being a little bit careful with the power. And it looks like all the guys have got through. Yes, they did. So we'll just keep an eye on this as Unforgiven goes towards the La Source and turn 1. Osman still there. Fitzy still there. Oh, I thought Fitzy was going to have a bit of a look at the inside of Osman then, but thought better of it. And around they go. So it is very clear that Unforgiven does like this track, and he's on a mission tonight. Wants to prove a point, I think, to these guys behind him. Osman's still chasing. Let's just go down the pack a little bit, shall we? As these 5 really are trying to break away. Brian Moncani in 5th there. Just they're trying to pull away from the guys behind. There is a little bit of a gap back to Derg, but I'm sure Derg will be doing everything he can to try and close that gap up. We're on lap 3 and Dirk's getting a purple sector, so yeah, he is pushing to try and catch up. Doesn't want to lose sight of the guys in front. Grasshopper in 7th, Silly Shot in 8th, Pete in 9th, with Phaser going by with, is that another penalty? Can't be the same one, surely. Stealth in 11th, then we've got Rufus, Nink and Bendit. Bendit, is he catching? I think he is catching very, very slowly. Obviously the tyre change, when he goes onto the softs he should start to put some decent laps in. So back up to the top, let's just see what's happening. So Unforgiven has opened up a little bit of a gap, a few car lengths, nothing really to relax about. He can have a bit of a breather, but he doesn't want to take his eye off the ball, really, does he? Not when you've got Osman chasing you down and Fitzy in 3rd. So let's jump on board with Fitzy as we take a few of these corners just around turn 16 onto heading towards Blanchimont, and through turn 17 and 18 we go. If we have a look in our mirror, we can just about make out Stormfly's McLaren there in amongst all of the metal work. Well, it's probably carbon fibre, isn't it? But he's there. Oh, and Fitzy's had a look up the inside of Osman. Can he get the car slowed down enough as they go into the bus stop? I think he may have just done it. Let's have a look. Yes, he has. Great move from Fitzy as they came up to the entry of the bus stop, and Fitzy gets the job done and moves up into 2nd. Osman has to drop down into third. Now Fitzy on the soft, remember, Osman on the mediums, so really it was only a matter of time, but fantastic move nevertheless from Fitzy. And if we can just have a look at that, well, there's the rear view mirror in the middle of Osman's car. We can see we've got Stormfly chasing us down as Osman gets into the slipstream of Fitzy's GTR up towards, where are we going? Towards, I've forgotten, Lacooms, that's right, we're up to look off. I'm getting that excited with all the racing and engrossed into, I forgot where we were. But Fitzy manages to hold on to that second position at the minute. All the while these guys are battling away. Unforgiven is managing to just creep that little bit further away. Now he is on the soft tyres. Ooh, that was a bit of a slide there, but managed to hold on to it for Unforgiven. But he's on the soft tyres, so he really needs to try and get some distance between himself and the guys behind, ready for when he does his pit stop. I really need to turn my map right way around, and then I can see where they all are. So as we go around turn 12 then, down towards 13 and 14 and Campus, Unforgiven looking to stretch his lead a little bit further. Fitzy still battling away with Osman as they go. Oh no, it's not, it's Stormfly. So Stormfly's got by Osman, and Fitzy in second, so it is Stormfly and Osman now battled away. It's Stormfly that went round the outside of Osman there, and Stormfly now moves up into P3. Also on the racing softs though is Stormfly. So again, only a matter of time really before they got by Osman. And let's have a look. Brian Moncani also on the soft, so maybe he fancies taking a chunk out of Osman as well. So poor old Osman getting properly mugged, isn't he? Although he's doing very, very well to be in fourth position after coming to the end of 4 laps, and he's on the medium tyres. Now Dirk has caught back up now. We did mention this earlier, didn't we? And Dirk has managed to sort of catch up to this little group. He's only, well, can't work it out time-wise, half a second behind Brian Moncani, I think. So Dirk having a good race so far. And as I say, he's caught up. He really don't want to let the guys get away from him in front. Well, let's just have a look, see what's happening. Any change? No, Unforgiven still out in front. Fitzy in second as they go up through Radion, Eau Rouge onto Radion, and then onto the Kemmel Straight. This Kemmel Straight incidentally, it's just over 1 kilometre long, or 0.65 of a mile. So good straight to do your slipstreaming into Lacooms. Turn 7, 8 and 9, sort of a stretched out chicane section, and then they start on down the hill towards turn 10, which is Brussels. But Fitzy still holding on to second, Stormfly chasing him down, Osman still managing to hold on to fourth as well, so he'll be happy with that, I'm sure, if he can just stay in touch with the guys in front. Brian Moncani sitting in fifth, he's trying to do the same thing as well, he just wants to stay in touch with the guys in front. Dirk looking to catch up. Them tyres really starting to wear out. We are on lap 5 of 21, and I'm looking at Dirk's tyres, and I would say they're about 40-45% gone at the front. So the soft tyres really not lasting very well around this track. It is quite a punishing track, to be fair, and if we're looking at Grasshoppers, he's obviously got the brake balance altered because the rear tyres of that NSX are the ones taking the punishment or doing all the work at the minute. So plenty on the front for Grasshopper, but the rear has really taken a pounding. Been a bit quiet this season as Grasshopper. He's usually up there fighting for a podium position, and yeah, he's just been a little bit quiet this season, so not sure what's going on there. Maybe the NSX is not quite up to the challenge with the likes of the Porsche and the Genesis and the GTRs. I know the driver is definitely up for the challenge, but maybe the car isn't. Silly shot down in 8th, but let's have a look at this battle for P9th. Oh, we do have somebody going into the pits, I think. Let's have a look. Oh, we've got a few going into the pits, I think. Did we? Or did they all just go completely wrong? Yeah, we did. It was Peter. So Pete's gone into the pits. So we'll go back up and see Fazer. Fazer moved up into 9th. He's got rid of all of his penalties. He's been chased down by Stealth and Rufus. So Peter's into the pits. His soft tyres have completely gone, I think. And as we follow Rufus up through Arouge onto Radion, full throttle through that section onto the Kemmel Straight for the 6th time, and trying to get into the slipstream, but I'm not sure Rufus is close enough to Stealth to do that. Let's just see. No, I think you've got to be within about 8/10, I believe, to get into the slipstream. So Rufus just playing steady at the minute, going about his business, doing his own thing, and he's just waiting for the race to come to him, isn't it? Ninky down in 12th. I think if you do that, if you're patient, as they say, the race will come to you, and then you can do your stuff. Bend it now up to 13th. Peter in 14th as he jumps, comes out of the pit lane. You've got to be very, very careful as well there, Peter. You do not want to be picking another 3 seconds up. It's bad enough you've got the half a second already, but for pit lane infringements it's 3 seconds, which is a bit of a killer, really, especially when you're playing catch up. So back up to our current race leader, Unforgiven, on the soft tyres, and they're looking very sorry for themselves, aren't they, those tyres, especially at the front. So Unforgiven will be coming in, as will Stormfly. Osman has made his way back up to 3rd again. He's got by Fitzy, so Fitzy may have had a bit of an issue, because there is a bit of a gap now, a couple of car lengths between Osman and Fitzy, so Fitzy may have had a bit of an issue, and Osman's tyres looking a lot better than the guys around him, so maybe this gamble of Osman's is going to pay off for him. He can obviously do another 2 or 3 laps further into this race than the guys around him. As I say, I think all of the let's have a look. Unforgiven is on the soft, Stormfly is, Fitzy is, Brian Moncarney, Derg. Yeah, so out of the top 6 or 7 guys, there's only one on the mediums, as Brian Moncarney decides he's going to have a go at Fitzy, slotting in just into the slipstream now. Fitzy's GTR as they head down towards Les Combes for the 7th time. Brian Moncarney has a bit of a look up the inside. Is he going to have a... No, he's not. He's just backed out at the last minute. I think he was just letting Fitzy know he was there. Couldn't quite get close enough. And that GTR probably got just a few more beans after the latest update as well. Not sure what's happened to the GTR, but I think the Porsche has a few horses have escaped. But then again, it's also shed a couple of pounds, I think. So I drove it last night and it's still bloody awful, in my opinion, but there you go, that's just my opinion, as Brian Moncarney has another little look at Fitzy as they go around Poulon. So Brian really piling the pressure on Fitzy, isn't he? Just going to go back up to Unforgiven, because as we come around and get on to Stavelot, I'm just wondering if Unforgiven is going to come into the pits, because them tyres are looking very sorry for themselves. He'll start to feel that now, and it does look like Stormfly's getting a little bit closer to him, but he's also got the problem with the tyres as well. So I'm just wondering if Unforgiven is going to come in yet, or whether he fancies his chances for one more lap. So we'll just stick with Unforgiven. It does look like the guys are starting to struggle a little bit now, as those tyres hurt. Now the indicator's going, so is that he's just caught the stick, or is he pulling into the pits? Yeah, I think he is. So Unforgiven is into the pits. Stormfly though, well, he thinks he can get another lap out of those tyres. Osman moves up into 2nd. Fitzy is in 3rd. He's going to stay out for another lap. So cool, this is it's all getting very tactical now. This could be a good shout by Unforgiven, actually. As where is he? Let's have a look. Well, he's only just reached the pit crew, so that's going to drop him well down the order, but he is the first one to pit, so as everybody else comes in, obviously he can climb back up the order. But at the minute, Stormfly in the McLaren leading this race. So is this the third change of leader we've had? And well, he's also putting in some purple sectors as well, so he's not feeling the effects of worn tyres, is he? absolutely going for it. Unforgiven with the current fastest lap, 2:17.0. But as we've just seen, Stormflight has got a purple sector. We called him the Flying Dutchman, I think it was last week, and he's certainly doing that this week. Osman staying with him at the minute, so we'll just go down the order and see if we can find anywhere that's battling out. We can see Derg in 5th. He's still got Brian Moncani in his sights, although he'll be coming into the pits very shortly. His tyres are not looking too clever, are they? Brian Moncani, they are slightly better on the Porsche, but even so, he's still going to have to come in. The only one that's not really got to make a pit stop is Osman, unless his fuel starts to deplete, which it does not. He's just below a quarter of a tank, so all the guys have used about the same amount of fuel. I think Osman might just get, like I say, a push 2 more laps than the guys around him. Tyre wise, it's more fuel that is going to be the problem, I think, for Osman. Brian Moncani still sitting in 4th, Derg in 5th, Grasshopper 6th. He's definitely going to have to come in. You can see the fuel light flashing, so Grasshopper will be coming in. Silly Shot in 7th. Well, he's doing okay fuel wise and tyres at the minute, so Silly Shot should gain at least 1 place. Well, Osman's in as well. Well, that's a surprise to me. I thought Osman might stay out for at least another lap. Stormflight has carried on, so the tyres really are not bothering Stormflight. Brian Moncani has moved up into 2nd. He's in the same situation as Stormflight actually, but the tyres don't seem to be bothering him either. Silly Shot has moved up into 3rd. He's decided to stay out. He's on the medium tyres, and this is what I thought Osman was going to do, but maybe Osman just wants to stay in touch with the guys around him. He will probably be going on to the soft tyres. Well, I don't know what's happening there. They're all just standing still in there. Nothing seems to be happening. Oh, we're off and running now. Fuel going into Derg and Grasshopper as well. It all doesn't look very busy, does it? I could do with a job in that pit crew. Look, I'm just standing around. Fantastic. So let's have a look. Osman, is he going to rejoin in 4th, or is who's on track? It's Bendit. So is Bendit going to overtake Fitz? He does. So Bendit moves up into 5th. Unforgiven in 6th. So he's looking to get back up onto P1 as he led for the start of this race, and Unforgiven out on the medium tyres now. So he's looking at making a move on Bendit, and it looks like he's going to do it now as they come down to Bruxelles in turn 10. Unforgiven on the inside. Bendit has to go all the way around the outside, but Unforgiven gets that done nice and clean, both giving each other plenty of racing room, as Unforgiven now moves up into 5th. Now don't forget the guys in front have stopped. So Osman certainly stopped. He's out now on some soft tyres, so he can start putting some decent laps in. So that fastest lap of Unforgiven's, a 2:17.0, is the target for the likes of Osman. Stormfly, our race leader, or current race leader, has decided to come into the pit. So has Brian Moncani. So Silly Shot, if he comes in, yeah, Silly Shot comes in. So Osman is going to take over as the leader of this race. He is just coming up through Blanchimont, so it's not a given yet. We'll just keep an eye on the top left and start watching for the fuel going into Stormfly and Brian Moncani's car. Although there's a lot of fuel to go in, they've only got about is it, I don't know, I'm sure, never sure if it's litres or what, but we'll call it litres. He's got 2 litres left. As Osman goes through now, it'll show him in 1st position as we go along this straight, but he's not actually in 1st until he passes the pit exit. Oh, it wasn't here, it shows it. Maybe it's this bit. There you go. So Osman moves up into 1st, but Now Stormfly, he's only put 67 litres in, and he's on his way out. Now then, can he get out before Osman passes him, or Osman going to get by? Let's go on to Osman's cars. He's gone through, so Osman does take the lead ahead of Stormfly. So Stormfly not going with a full tank of fuel. He thinks there's enough there for him to make it to the end of the race, unless, as I mentioned earlier, hard tyres do have to be used. I'm not 100% sure, so it could be that the hard tyres got to be used, and Stormfly knows there's another stop. Then again, he could have calculated it that he's got enough fuel to last the race. I'm not sure on the tyres, so we shall wait and see. Unforgiven has moved up into third now, and is putting Stormfly under a bit of pressure. The difference, well, Stormfly's on the mediums, and Unforgiven also on the mediums, so that's going to be an interesting battle between those two. Fitzy also on the mediums in fourth. Brian Moncani, he's out on the mediums as well in fifth. Maybe they don't have to use the hards, I don't know. But none of them have took on a full tank of fuel, so that may have worked it out that there's enough to see them to the end of the race. Dirk, he's out on mediums in sixth. Grasshopper in seventh. Now then, Grasshopper, he's on the soft tyres. Just have a look. I think there's a bit of a distance between himself and Osman, so there's still every possibility of Grasshopper getting on the podium if he can start getting some decent laps in now. You can see the fastest lap of 2:17.0, and Grasshopper's fastest is the 2:19.2, so a couple of seconds off, but that was on the medium tyres. Now he's on the softs. We shall keep an eye on Grasshopper, and we'll see what kind of times he's doing. Silly Shot has dropped to 8th after his pit stop. Peter down in 9th. Phaser in 10th. It's all very spread out back here. Stealth in 11th. Then we've got Ninky in 12th and carrying a half-second penalty. He's just about to serve that now. So just on the start of Blanchimont is the penalty zone, and we've just seen Ninky serve that, so he can get his foot down and try and get away from Rufus, who's currently sitting in 13th. And Bendit in 14th. So maybe he just doesn't like this track. Maybe it's the car. I quite like that Lexus actually. We used it for a season, and yeah, I thought it was alright actually, but not everybody gets on with it. Fantastic livery though. I love the livery on that thing. If Bendit made that himself, then well done, sir. I really do like that. So back up to the top then, and our current race leader Osman. So far the tactics of starting on the medium tyres has fully paid off. I thought he was going to stay out for another lap or two, but he decided to come in when everybody else does, or did, and yeah, it's paid off for him. He's got quite a decent gap actually back to Stormfly, and Stormfly has just managed to just pull away from Unforgiven. So quite a decent gap between all of the guys up at the front at the minute. Fitzy currently in 4th, but as we see, he's just about to serve a half a second penalty, so that will just drop him off the back of Unforgiven by a 10th or 2. That's Fitzy's penalty served, so he's off and running again now. Brian, he's having a good race, isn't he, Brian? Currently sitting in 5th. He's not under any pressure. You can still see Fitzy up ahead, so he's got something to go at. But not under any pressure from behind. I'm just looking in the background there. Dirk just comes into the picture there as he enters the bus stop chicane. So again, you know, 3-4 seconds gap I think between Dirk and Brian Moncani. Steady race for Dirk at the minute. Currently sitting in 6th. Now Grasshopper, what kind of times is Grasshopper putting in? Now we're on the softs. He's got a 2:17.9, so he is about you're about 1.5 seconds off of the fastest lap of Osman now at 2:16.5. So yeah, Grasshopper's certainly putting in the lap times now. He's on the chase. Then we've got Silly Shot still down in 8th. Well, he's completely on his own, isn't he? Got no pressure at all from behind. Where's the nearest one to him? It's Pete. And that is quite a decent gap. Well, it's almost the length of the Camel Straight, isn't it? Between Peter and Silly Shot, so quite a gap there to catch up. Phaser in 10th. He can see Pete up ahead. Then we've got Stealth, Rufus and Ninky in 13th, with Bendit well down in 14th, all on his own. He's just coming around La Source at turn 1, so he is really off of the pace at the minute. Lap times all over the place, really not settled into this race as Bendit, so I'm sure he'll be wanting to get this one out of the way and move on to next week, which I believe we're at the Nürburgring next week. I'm not sure which course it is. I can imagine it's not going to be the 150 mile long course. It'll be the shorter one of the two, but we shall see. So Osman at the minute looking very comfortable. We are well, we're over halfway now into this 21 lap race as Osman goes across the start finish line to start lap 13 down to La Source at turn 1. Very tight right hander, and then heads towards Eau Rouge and Radion, and we start on up the hill through turns 3, 4 and 5, then onto the Camel Straight at turn 6. Just over a kilometre towards the entry of Lacombe's at turn 7, and Osman looking very comfortable and putting in some very decent laps. You can just see he's got a gone purple in the first sector. The Stormfly still sitting in second, looking very comfortable actually. Unforgiven in third, so he's back on the podium, but he'll want to be a little bit further up the steps than the third position at the minute, so he's on the chase after Stormfly. He's laps 2:17.4, so he's about a second off of Osman's pace at the minute, but he is on the medium tyres. Osman, as we saw on the softs, and they're about 45, nearly 50% wear on the front of the Genesis, so that's something to keep an eye on, and I'm all sure there's going to have to be another pit stop, isn't there? Definitely, with the fuel as it is. We've got 8 more laps to go, so yeah, it's going to be one more stop for everybody. Fitzy in 4th, Brian Moncarney still in 5th, then Grasshopper, Derg. Nobody really battling. Well, Derg and Silly Shot. So Silly Shot decided he's going to have a go at Derg. So jump on board with Silly Shot, shall we, as we chase Derg. As we come around onto Stavelot at turn 15. And through into 16. And now Silly Shot right up the chuff of Derg. Having a good sniff of those exhaust pipes on that GTR as we go on to Blanchimont. Excuse me, head ourselves down towards the bus stop chicane. I'm not actually quite sure if that's its official name, but everybody calls it the bus stop. And wow, what a great exit Silly Shot got there, and I think he was a little bit surprised and caught out by that himself. Now he's got by. In fact, let's just go back and have another look at that, shall we? I don't think there was any contact. I think he just got completely caught out. Surprised himself he actually got that close to Derg and had to make the move. I'm not so sure he was actually planning on doing that. I think he wanted to sit by Derg, but he got a fantastic exit out of that turn, and then suddenly finds himself making a move, and he just about got the car slowed down. So a great move in the end, but I'm not so sure he quite planned that. But up to P7 he goes nevertheless. Derg Dirk may have just backed out. I think he could see what was coming and decided to just back out. So he drops down now to 8th. With Fazer in 9th. PT's into the pits again. Rufus in 11th. As Rufus gets out of the bus stop, with Stealth chasing him down. So Stealth will be doing everything he can to take P10 away from Rufus. It looked like Rufus went very deep into turn 1, and that has allowed Stealth to catch right up. So Stealth is now up the smelly end of Rufus as they go into a Rouge for the 14th time. Oh, Stealth takes a little bit too much of that curb. That's going to be a penalty, I'm sure. It pushed him. He caught that curb on the right hand side, and yeah, there's the penalty. It threw the car to the left, and he crossed over the track limits, and that's what the half second's for. He will be cussing and cursing in that car. In fact, I can imagine what he's saying about sausage curbs. So that's Stealth in 11th, and well, if he can get by Rufus and pull away from him, he might be able to hold on to P10, but he's got to get by Rufus first. Rufus will see that Stealth's got the penalty. He'll just try and defend until they get to the penalty zone, and then he'll get a bit of a breather as Stealth serves that penalty. But a great shot that is, isn't it? Get a great good look at that delivery on that car. So that's Stealth chasing Rufus down. Ninky down in 12th. Well, getting very lonely for Ninky, as we just see our race leader Osman has come into the pits. Peter in 13th with Bendit. Well, he's caught right up to the back of Peter, hasn't he? I think Peter may have made a pit stop though, so that's why Bendit has managed to catch up to him. But finally Bendit can see another car, and he can have a bit of a race, which is what we're all here for. I do like that livery on that car. That's fantastic work, that is. Whoever's done that is, yeah, well done. Love it. So Osman into the pits then, so that's allowed Stormfly through. This will be Stormfly's last lap before he pits again. You can see the fuel lights flashing, so maybe he's going to have to be doing a little bit of fuel saving in this in-lap. Brian Moncani in second. He's now just coming up to Lecombs. He's well, the fuel lights just started flashing on Brian's car as well, so he'll be coming in. Grasshopper in third. He's okay for fuel. Tyres about 50%, but I think Grasshopper can cope with that. Made his way up into third, so yeah, good recovery from Grasshopper. This is more like it. This is what we're used to seeing from Grasshopper. Silly Shot has moved up into fourth. He's having a steady race, isn't he, Silly Shot? He's just staying out of trouble, just sitting there in the background, and now finds himself in P4. Dirk in P5. Tyres looking okay, fuel's looking okay, at least for another 2 or 3 laps anyway. Fazer in 6th. Again, tyres and fuel okay for another couple of laps. Now Osman, having made another pit stop, back out on some soft tyres, so it is just medium and softs to be used then. And Osman rejoins in 7th with enough fuel to take him to the end of the race. Well, I hope so anyway. I hope he's calculated it properly. Now he knows the guys in front of him are going to stop, so I think Osman may have got his tactics spot on in this race, as he comes up to the back of Fazer, and Fazer on some worn medium tyres is not really going to be much of a match for Osman on fresh softs. So it's only going to be a matter of time. Osman just needs to be a little bit patient, which is not what you want to do when you're trying to claw your way back up to the top of this race. But oh, there we go. Osman just pulls to the inside as they go through Blanchimont and gets the move done. Oh, does he? Fazer is fighting back, so they are now side by side as they head down. Oh, has Fazer gone wide? Fazer went very, very wide there. He was trying to fight off the attention from Osman, but in doing so took himself off the racing line and went very wide, and Osman said, well, thank you very much. I'll just move on through now. It was only going to be a matter of time, really. I think the tyres more than anything would have came into play there. So Osman now up to 6, and we can see we've got Stormfly, Brian, Dirk all in the pit. So Osman now moves up into 3rd. Grasshopper takes over the lead, so we've had a change of leader again for this race. So Grasshopper now leading, and he's got Silly Shot behind him, not too far away, but there is a bit of a gap. And then the length of the Camel Straight is the distance between Silly Shot and Osman. But just remember, Silly Shot and Grasshopper have got another stop to make. Yeah, Silly Shot, the fuel light is flashing now, so he's going to come in. Grasshopper, even if he stays out for one more lap, he's not going to make it to the end of the race. So it's only going to be time then before Osman resumes his position at the front of this particular race. Stormfly sits in 4th currently, but he'll move up into 2nd when Grasshopper and Silly Shot come in. So it's almost positions resumed now after the pit stops. Unforgiven currently in 5th, still chasing Stormfly down. We still have time. We've got another 5 laps to go, or 4.5, shall we say, because we've got the rest of this one and still to go. So still plenty of time for Unforgiven. Let's just have a look. So yes, well, Stormfly is on better soft tyres. Unforgiven is on the soft tyre, but they are more warmed up. So it's going to be an interesting fight between these two to the end of the race. Let's just keep an eye on the current race leader as Grasshopper stays to the right and pulls into the pits. I think Silly Shot is probably going to follow him. Yes, he is. So this is where Osman, as he goes through Blanchimont, then he will resume the lead of this race while Grasshopper and Silly Shot are in the pits. But the unfortunate thing is such a long pit stop. I bet the guys are not even at their pit stations. No, they're not. They're not even made it to the pit stations yet. So Osman is going to go through to retake P1. Stormfly, you can see him in the distance there with Unforgiven as Osman goes around the source at turn 1. Stormfly, Unforgiven, both around turn 1, and Unforgiven is a lot closer now to Stormfly than he was. Is he within the slipstream? I think he may be. So we'll just keep an eye on these two. In fact, let's jump on board with Unforgiven as we go through Arouge, onto Radion, and then onto the Camel Straight. Foot planted firmly on the noisy pedal as we try and chase down Stormfly. Not quite close enough. I thought he may have been a little bit closer than that, but couldn't get it done. So into Lecombs, turn 7, 8 and 9, and then we start on down the hill towards turn 10 at Brussels, onto the brakes, ease the car around this sweeping right hander, and then it's onto the power through turn 11, down the hill, still going down towards turn 12 at Poulon. This long left hander, be careful, you can take a little bit of the curb, but you don't want to get too smart with it, otherwise it will bite you. Through into Campus, and Unforgiven, he does look like he's getting closer. He just seems a little bit quicker through that section than Stormfly, but then Stormfly seems to get his foot down and open the gap up again. So a bit frustrating for Unforgiven, and when you're chasing this hard, this is when the mistakes start to creep in. So hopefully he won't do that. He'll keep it nice and steady, stay on the grey stuff, avoid the penalties, and well, if you can get closer to Stormfly then great, but if not, you're still on the podium. So just keep it nice and simple. Fitzy sitting in 4th. He's not gonna, I don't think he's gonna catch up with these guys unless there's a mistake made by one of the front 3. But Fitzy will keep going. I'm sure he'll be happy with 4th. He'd be even happier if he could get past Stormfly, because obviously Stormfly leading the league table at the minute. Good points for Osman as well if it stays like this. Brian Mulcahy still in 5th. Never everybody's sort of spreading out a little bit now as Dirk's picked up a penalty and he's coming under pressure from Grasshopper. So Dirk's got to carry that half a second now for, what, 2/3 of the track. So Grasshopper's got a choice now. Does he try and get past Dirk before they get to the penalty zone, or does he just sit behind him, knowing that he's going to take that position away from Dirk when they get to the penalty zone? I think, to be honest, if Grasshopper can do it, he'll try and get by Dirk, because then it gets even more distance between the two of them when Dirk does serve his penalty. So Dirk will be kicking himself, I'm sure, for getting that penalty, but he'll fight. He's not going to give this place to Grasshopper. We're on lap 18 of 21. So 4 laps, including what's left of this one, till the end of this race. Silly Shot is, where is it? He's down in 8th. Then we've got Pete, Phaser, Rufus. Stealth just still sitting there behind Rufus, can't quite get past him in 12th, but these two having a decent race. And then Nink down in 13th. Now have we lost one? It looks like we have. Yeah, Bendit has left. So he's retired for whatever reason, may have been technicalities, I don't know, but yeah, Bendit unfortunately has had to retire from the race. Now then, is that, I can't really tell from that camera angle, but I think Stormfly may be getting a little bit closer to Osman. Now Stormfly does have the fastest lap at 2:16.4, and he did that a couple of laps ago. His previous lap was a 2:16 as well, so he's really starting to put his foot down, and I think he is getting slightly closer to Osman. Osman, his last lap was a 2:17, but he has been, his previous 2 laps were in the 16, so they're quite evenly matched, these two, for pace, as Osman gets another purple sector. Excuse me. So with 3 laps to go, including this one, Osman still in P1, Stormfly in P2, Unforgiven is 3rd at the minute, Fitzy is 4th, Brian Moncani is 5th, Grasshopper 6th. He's got by Dirk, so that may have been when Dirk served his penalty, sorry we missed that, but Grasshopper's got by Dirk down into 7th. Then we've got Silly Shot, Pete, Phaser, Rufus, Stealth, and then Ninky down in 13th. So yeah, as normally happens on an endurance race, everybody pretty much spreads out, and the battles all calm down. So yeah, it's just a case of well, let's have a look at some liveries, shall we? As we follow Fitzy around in the Fanta. That's a pretty busy livery, that is. I hope that's just one decal or whatever you call it. Otherwise you'd be there forever trying to put all them colours on. Fantastic looking livery, isn't it? The Fanta. Again, well done to Fitzy if he did that. Who else has got a good livery? Let's have a look. Let's have a look what his livery is like. Very busy again. I don't know if Dirk would have done that himself, or he's got that one off a showcase, but yeah, still fantastic looking livery on the car. Then we've got Silly Shot in 8th, Pete, and Pete with the Dubby logo on the back there on the headlights. He's coming under attack from Phaser, so let's just follow these two guys. We'll go on board with Phaser as we come on to Blanchimont. He's chasing Pete down. no pressure whatsoever behind, so all concentration aimed directly at the rear end of Pete's car, and there we go into the slipstream, heading down towards the bus stop. Is he going to get it slowed down enough? Well, I don't know where Pete is, but he is. Oh, Spazer just manages to hold on to the back end of it and well, he got that move completed, didn't he? I thought that that was going to come round on him, so great car control from Phaser to stop the back end overtaking the front. So well done to him, and he's got the move done. But Pete fighting back, we can just see him there in the rear view mirror. Great battling between these two into Arouge, unless they start the climb into Radion and then onto the Kemmel Straight. Pete pulls out, so he's now side by side between these two as we head down to Lacombe's. Phaser on the inside. Now it's who's bravest on the brakes. Oh, Phaser just pulled out, so Pete a little later on the brakes gets that move done to get back up into P9. Great racing between these two towards the end of this race, but Phaser now drops back down to 10th, so the hard work he put in to get up to P9, he's going to have to do it again. Probably a wise decision just to back out there. That could have got all very messy, but at least the two of them are still racing. Phaser coming back at Pete now as we go up towards Poulon, this big long sweeping left-hander, and Phaser still happy to sit behind Pete. Now he's looking for the exit out of here. He's practically pushing Pete along. Thought Pete had gone defensive then and took the inside line, but didn't feel he needed to. Phaser is sticking to the traditional racing line through that section. He's just going to sit behind Pete, I think. Maybe make the move again as we go on to Blanchimont. We shall see. Let's just follow these two around. Where are we? Turn 16. I really have got to sort my map out. So Phaser then looking to attack Pete again. Oop, where have we gone? I think Pete's going to be safe this time though as they go down. Oh, Phaser went very wide. That's going to cost him a tenth or two. He's got back onto the track. Now I don't know if you're going to get a penalty at that point. I think he might. Oh no, he did. Yeah, he did get a penalty, so that's half a second. So that's just pushing too hard for Phaser, and yeah, half a second. So Pete will have a bit of a sigh of relief, I'm sure, when he looks in his mirror and he sees that little red box above Phaser's car. That was unlucky. Some great racing between those two. We've said it before, you don't need to be at the front to have a good race. These guys battling it out for P9. Then we've got Stealth. He's managed to no, I thought he was, yes he has, he's managed to get by Rufus. So Stealth up to P11, Rufus in 12th and carrying half a second as well, so that will allow Stealth to well, get a little bit further on up the road. So Rufus may have had a bit of an issue, I think, to there's quite a gap between the two of them. Few scratches on that BMW of Rufus, and then Ninky down in 13th. He's pulled over to let these guys through, so the race leaders have lapped Ninky. Ninky just pulls over. He didn't really need to pull off of the track, but good on him really for staying out of the way. He's done it again. Well, he's just got reset as well. He's trying to stay out of the way. Oh, and we've missed it. So let's just go back. I do apologise for that. I got that caught up watching the guys at the back. I forgot to watch the end of the round. I didn't realise we were on lap 21. So Osman is coming around the final few turns to take the win. Got his tactics absolutely spot on for this race, and thoroughly deserves the win. So well done to Osman across the line. Race winner. Congratulations to him. Stormfly came in second. Well done to him. Unforgiven led at the beginning of the race, but I'm sure he's going to be happy with a podium finish in P3. Brian Moncani across the line in 4th. Good race from him. Fitzy in 5th. Nink across the line in 13th. Then we've got Grasshopper. Well, a good recovery really from Grasshopper. He left the charge a little bit later, I thought, but good result nevertheless in 6th position. they're just behind him in 7th. Then we've got Silly Shot, who's been around about P8 for most of the race, to be fair, so he'll be pleased with that. Then we've got Pete, who's been battling away with Phaser for the last few laps, and it does look like Pete is going to be safe and finishing P9 unless he completely messes up the bus stop for the final time. Nice and safe for Pete as he crosses the line, so well done to him. Phaser in 10th. Stealth across the line in 11th, with Rufus just behind him in 12th. Well, great racing here at Spa. Hope you can join me next week. As I say, we're at the Nürburgring next week. I'm not actually sure which track, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be the shorter, the Grand Prix one. But nevertheless, hopefully you can join for that, and I shall catch you all shortly.